his quest just along the coast.
If I've got my bearings right, and trust me, that is not always the case, I'm hoping to find a series of sea caves on the south side of the Black Isle, where a whole team of archaeologists have been working to try and find out more about these incredible caves. Now, the project leader is Simon Gunn, and hopefully he's a bit further down this path. So where are these caves then?
Aye, Ewan, we've got to get a bit further down yet.
It's been going for ages.
It does. We need to get right down to the beach and then along a bit, and then we'll find where the rocks are, and that's where the caves are.
Okay, lead on.
Okay.
As we descend the steep cliff path and I attempt to stay upright,
You said caving, not mountaineering.
Simon explains that there are 19 caves hidden along this 2-mile stretch of coastline. Once we hit the beach, I'm still not seeing any caves.
So where are the caves?
The caves just a bit further on, and they're quite high and dry.
The caves were largely forgotten and hidden from view until Simon came across them in the early 1980s. Because they were dry, he started to wonder if they'd been used by people in the past.
I just had an idea that perhaps people who'd been here for thousands of years ago, like early hunter-gatherers and people, the first people who would have come to Scotland after the Ice Age.
So you got a team of archaeologists together, you got sparked a bit of interest?
Yes, we're excavating several of the caves here, and we're led by Steve Birch, who is our excavation director, and perhaps we should go in and have a word with him.
Have a look.
And wow, isn't this spectacular? Well worth the wait. But before I go to find Steve, safety first.
Hi, Ewan.
Can I join you? Come
Yes.
this way or around the...
Yeah, just come round the back there.
Keep off the edge.
Yeah, that's fine. You can step
Okay, on here?
inside here, it's absolutely fine, yes.
So what are you working on at the moment?
Well, what we're doing, we're excavating through these deep sequences of sediments inside the cave, some of which built up naturally. Others we know are activity areas. For example, you can see one just over in the section over there, an old fireplace.
What, the black bit?
The black bit with the sort of peat ash and wood ash over the top. So that's representing activity in the cave in the post-medieval period.
So what does that mean in layman's terms?
Well, we're looking sort of mid-19th century. What we're tending to find is we've got activity from probably tinkers working in the caves, maybe 100, 200 years ago.
So what have you got?
Well, one of the things, we're getting lots of fragments of leather, but we get complete boots and things like this, so child's boot. So one of the activities, and again we have good ethnographic parallels for this, is doing things like manufacturing or repairing shoes. The caves would have made this ready-made living space, a beautiful dry space, a few fireplaces, give you some warmth, and probably somewhere where you could literally go up to the top of the cliffs and service the local economy in Rosemarkie and Fortrose.
But still be
farms.
slightly away from the rest of society.
Yes, I think these people are always living on the fringe of society, very much as they are today, unfortunately, and plying their trade.
So this is fascinating stuff here, but
Yes.
in the next door cave, there's something pretty special, isn't it?
That's right.
I'm going to go and find it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm on my way to Cave 2B, where on last year's dig, on the very last day, on the very last scrape of the excavation, James McComas made a truly amazing discovery. James,
Ah, Ewan, how
what
you
did
doing?
you find? This is where it is it?
This is the spot, yeah. I started to find a few lovely white phalanges, very clean finger bones. At first I thought they must be animal bone, because I was thinking, you know, it couldn't possibly be human. What are the chances of that? So unexpected. But then these two knees popped out.
The body had been placed in a corner of the cave out of sight, with a large stone placed on top. As James dug down, he unearthed a perfectly preserved male skeleton. But when he found the skull, it became even more intriguing.
No, I'm no expert, but looking at that photograph, that suggests that was a pretty unhappy ending at the skull.
Absolutely. When we first uncovered the skull, when I first saw it, I thought something must have gone wrong here. It must have got crushed or damaged because the rest of the skeleton was in such good condition. It was only later, when the bones went away to the University of Dundee, that we were told there was actually 5 separate serious cranial injuries. We know it was a very violent death. It may have been interpersonal conflict, or there may have been a ritual element to it.
The murdered man was dated to the Pictish period 1400 years ago, and the researchers at Dundee University were able to use the skull to reconstruct what he would have looked like, bringing us face to face with the past.
That's how his face would have looked.
Seeing his eyes and knowing that he lay there, it's...
Absolutely, it is. It sort of brings a cold shiver down the spine, doesn't it? It is quite something.
These 19 lost caves, scattered along just 2 miles of the Black Isle coastline, have revealed some fascinating history from the last 2,000 years. Now, the work here will continue, and who knows what other secrets these caves are yet to reveal.